I think it's now time to talk about film, cinema, art, visual, moving picture art.
That would be the definition of film.
A definition of film. I mean, there's lots of film. Captain America is the biggest movie in the world right now.
Really?
Yeah. Is there any kind of jealousy, resentment?
I haven't really heard anything. Now, is it American?
That Sergeant Canada isn't. Well, no. A Dudley Do-Right would be your equivalent, right? Was Canada really upset because there was a Dudley Do-Right movie with Brendan Fraser, and it was actually not very successful. Is that a source of anger?
Not really. I love how the American ego comes out and says, the biggest movie in the world right now is Captain America.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Marvel film, so...
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Would that have made it better for you if I said the biggest movie in the world is a Marvel film?
Yes, it would.
That would have made you feel, well, that seems a little insecure, Andrew.
Okay.
I'm sorry to have to point that out.
Well, no, we don't need to advertise ourselves with...
I know Dudley Do-Right does it all.
Yes.
God, we should watch that. Because actually he did George of the Jungle, and that was a pretty awesome film for a kid.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good film.
Yeah. So, and it was shock to everyone that, the Canadian equivalent just wasn't that popular. But, I don't know. I'm sure it played well in Alberta.
I haven't actually...
Northwest Territories.
I haven't actually heard that film. I know there was a show, but no one I knew really watched it.
Really? It wasn't...
It wasn't that popular.
Huh. Well, it was a bit before your time. I mean, this is an older show. It's from like the Rocky Bullwinkle period.
Okay, I remember Rocky Bullwinkle vividly, and that was a great show.
Well, I mean, I don't think you were alive when it was new. I mean, it was the reruns you would have caught.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's a. I wonder if Dudley Do-Right was censored in Canada.
What year was Dudley Do-Right made anyway?
The same time as Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's in the 70s. As I understand, it was the 70s. I could be wrong. It could be.
Okay, then.
It's got to be 70s. The animation style, I believe, was late.
We
70s.
must have gone the newer done version of the show then, because I know in the 90s they had a Dudley Do-Right show and it was new colored, but.
Well, I mean, they were in color in the 70s, dude. They were in color.
Okay.
I mean, Johnny Quest, Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
They had colors.
Show.
They had colors. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of Scooby-Doo, this is not what's new at the cinema. I got to make this quick aside before I forget to come back later to it. The Harlem Globetrotters are in town.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're playing on Sunday. They're playing on Easter Sunday. To honor Christ's resurrection.
Okay.
The Harlem Globetrotters.
Who are they?
I can't even dignify that with a response.
I mean, all I know them from is like Little Nicky.
What?
Little Nicky?
Yeah. What about him?
That's the only even reference I know about the Globetrotters.
So you do know about the Globetrotters?
Just basketball team. That's it.
Well, that would be it. They are a performing team of basketball players.
Okay.
Exhibitionists. They not that kind of exhibitionists. They do things with basketballs.
Ah.
Yeah.
What do they do with basketballs?
Well, they play with them, with each other. Obviously in front of a lot of people, as many people as they can get, really.
Okay. Yeah.
Do it all over the world. Yeah.
Are they judged by the size of the basketball, or?
No, I think they're pretty uniform, standard size.
Okay.
It's a lot of grippage. But they can palm it. I mean, they're usually tall and big enough that they can palm the balls.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, they're in Istanbul. I would love to go see them. I've never got to go. I mean, and they're old now. I don't think anybody really gets excited for them. But as a kid, I liked the idea that there was a point in time where they were better than the NBA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For a very brief period of time. But at the time, they were, they were paid outside of the ownership structure of the NBA, so they could make more money.
So what are they in a league of their own? Are they like a separate
There's
team?
no league. I mean, they literally are just an independent exhibition team. They just go and perform with. I mean, there's actually been a lot more competition in recent years.
Okay.
This is probably boring fuck out of anybody who doesn't like basketball. But anyway, so the Globe. Well, they were on Futurama too. I mean, if that's not amazing in and of itself. They were in the past. Okay. They hung out with Scooby-Doo and helped solve mysteries with Don Knotts and Scooby-Doo.
Didn't they do something on Space Jam as well?
No, that was NBA.
Okay.
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I don't think they did anything on Space Jam. Because, there'd have been no problem. They would have just won. Because the Globetrotters always win. They've never lost, I think, to the Generals.
Okay.
I think that's the name of their rival team. They're the rival team that exists only to be mocked and made fun of. But anyway, so back to what's in the cinemas. Yeah, Captain America's big. Are you a Marvel movie fan?
Not really. I mean, I've never really been into the comics. A lot of my friends here in Turkey are, so I find that I go and I watch and I check out the explosions and the yay, oh my god, let's check out the little clip from the next movie coming out at the very end, but that's about it.
I do think for some films, like the Thor films, which seem pretty boring, the most anticipated scene is after the credits to see who's going to pop in from another film and what it's going to hint at for future films. I do think for their more, just underdeveloped characters.
Exactly.
Or more limited characters, that's the most anticipated aspect of the films.
Well, Thor was actually not bad. I didn't mind Thor. Batman, Dark Knight Rising was not bad.
It's a different...
Yeah.
It's the comic book here, but it's a different company and different universe.
Yes.
That's DC.
So speaking of Marvel, do you think since they're bringing lesser-known characters out in the open, they're going to do a Janissary movie?
Oh, yeah, Janissary. Now, for those who are not familiar, and that would be almost everyone in existence, there is a Marvel... No, it's DC.
DC?
There is a DC Turkish superhero. She's a woman. She is a trauma...
construction worker?
No, she was... Okay, I'll explain the bit. She's a doctor. She's a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
A renowned surgeon in Izmir, I believe. And, the origin of her story is that she was helping earthquake victims in Izmit. No, this was in 99.
Okay,
yeah, 99. They're the big earthquake that killed 40,000 people or something here, just to the east of Istanbul. And so anyway, her story is she's helping people out there because she's, recently graduated physician. She falls through a crack into an underground cavern and finds the magical flaming sword of Suleiman and Merlin's book of spells, and immediately she becomes Janissary, this flying superhero with a book which is of magical wizard spells,
and decked out in like the Turkish flag, red costume.
She's wearing a full like a full burqa, but it's all red with the crescent moon and star of the Turkish flag on it. And it's when I showed
it's rather it shows off her womanly figure for sure.
Not really. No, it definitely does not do that. But when she's not in garb, when she's a doctor, she's not dressed in any way like that. She's dressed very much like a woman from Izmir would be expected to dress. Which actually doesn't seem to fit very much with a doctor in the hospital, now that I think about those scenes.
Exactly.
But it's a hard comic to find. She's only got one comic. It was a series of, obviously, special one-offs of around the world, brand new DC characters just to serve a marketing purpose.
I actually found a English version in a troll cave down in Ankara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, troll cave. Anyway.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah, so he told me about that. He had seen this. He didn't have the full story because he didn't buy the comic, did you?
No. What happened was I was rooting around this storage room where me and my buddies go to play Magic cards, Warhammer, that kind of thing. And going through these old Magic cards and magazines, there's this one copy of Janissary, and I took a look and go, Turkey's equivalent to Captain America. Let's take a read. And kind of flick through.
Okay. So your buddy had bought it. Is that...
Someone had bought it and donated it to like the local nerd community. The thing with the troll cave or role-playing house is people bring things, they leave
dungeon,
things.
Not role-playing dungeon. You couldn't find an appropriate noun.
No, troll cave. It smells bad. There's
I know,
dirty
but you switched to role-playing house.
Either
it's
way.
the house that I'm calling into question.
Well, it's an apartment. It's a house. People live there on occasion. You don't know who's living there at any given time.
Okay, you're right. Functionally, it's a home. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't, so Andrew didn't know the full story because it wasn't his comic book and he hadn't read the whole thing. So he gave me enough that it took me the better part of, I think, of a day and a half to identify, was it Marvel? Because you thought it was Marvel or DC. And then to find what was the comic because there were about 4 or 5 comics that she's actually in, but she's only featured in one of them. She's just like a background when they 100 heroes assemble. She's in there. To find it, and then to find online this comic, because I sure can't find it in a comic book store, and if I don't want to buy it, if I did find it, so.
I seen that copy in like 2006.
Yeah, so it took a little while. It took a few days of searching, but I found it, printed it up, and showed it to a couple people. I teach privately sometimes, and I showed it to a couple students.
They were not impressed.
They were so outraged. They were angry because, it was clear that the author was actually, he's a well-known comic book author. He did Pride of Baghdad. He did Why the Last Man. This is something Vaughn. I forget. I know his last name is Vaughn. So I mean, he's like a major comic book writer, and he created this character. He's credited with creating her, and it's so obvious that he did so with the intent, and with DC's intent to create this nationalist, feel good character that's going to make the kids happy after this earthquake and these things. And of course, it's in English, so I don't really know who the audience was for this. But so to people who are over the age of 30, she looks like a PKK fighter, and they responded with great hostility, and thought that it was obvious to every American that this was an insult, that it's a mockery, and would not accept that the author hadn't done this on purpose to insult Turks. They wouldn't. I mean, it was unfathomable that an author could have created this character out of just really naive simplicity and ignorance.
Well, look at Midnight Express.
Go on.
Well, no, I mean, that was... before I went to Turkey, not a lot was known about this country, so only thing people knew about it was Midnight Express, which is a film about the drug trafficker who spends time in Turkish prison.
I don't even know. I don't know.
You don't know the
I've
film?
never heard of Midnight Express.
Okay, well, either way, it's an old film that people here believe was created to insult the country, but due to naivety, people don't really know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, continue.
No, go ahead. Continue.
No, I'm done.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes, I watched the movie.
Before you came to Turkey or after?
After I came to Turkey.
Is it well known here in Turkey?
It's...
Because there's actually there's a film called, and it's wonderful because it's called Topkapi.
Topkapi. Okay.
No, what I said, not what you said. Which is not the correct pronunciation, but it's, in English, if you were to write the name of the palace. And it's a heist film. It's a jewel caper set in Istanbul. They steal jewels, the Sultan's jewels from Topkapı Palace.
Okay.
And so I had never heard of it until about 6 months ago, and I happened to see some blog about life in Istanbul or local culture and these things, and it was on there. And I never heard no one I know knows about it.
Okay. Anything accurate or remotely?
Well, I haven't. I mean, I assume they were unsuccessful because the jewels were still there. Most of them.
Mind you, we all know that the jewels, Byzantine jewels at least, were glass anyway.
Go ahead. Go on.
Did you catch that? Well, no. With the fall of the Byzantine Empire, a lot of the royal jewels were sold already, and glass replacements were taken. So I'm assuming a lot of the Sultan's jewels would be glass as well.
Why would you assume that the Sultan's jewels were glass?
Well, it would get mixed in from the ones taken from Constantinople.
I hesitate to ask you more because I don't know where that's going. Do you want to go on? Do you want to?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm assuming that they could identify which were glass by weight, if nothing else.
Yeah, but maybe this whole movie is actual history and the jewels have gone and they just did glass replacements.
Well, I guess we'll have to watch the movie to find out.
I know, I'm excited.
Yeah. So what else? So there's I was on a plane a couple weeks ago coming back from the U.S. and it's a 11-hour flight approximately. And this was a really, really good one. A really good flight in the sense that the plane, it's the first time, I think. Wait. Maybe. I was on a B-747.
Really?
I have wanted to fly on a jumbo jet since I was a kid.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a passion, a dream of mine. And, you know, I told Melek, and she's like, it's the stupidest thing to dream about. And then we got on the plane. She's like, so, are you disappointed now? And I said,
why so negative?
I'm like, no, it's actually, I mean, it's a jumbo jet.
Okay.
And we had the chance to upgrade our tickets to the second floor.
Oh, very nice.
For $60. And I said, no, not worth it. I mean, it's just to be on it is enough. I don't have to go upstairs because there's no piano there anymore. There used to be a piano on the original flight, and there was a lounge. It was a lounge.
I'm confused about what you're talking about now.
Do you know a B-747? You know what it looks like?
Really big fat plane, yes. I got that.
Do you know anything else about the dimensions? It's got 2 decks.
Ah, okay.
The second deck now is kind of first class, seating. But originally, they weren't envisioning. This is before, because the jumbo came out in like 1969.
Yeah.
And this was before they realized that we've got to make a ton of money. This was before the oil crisis and OPEC flexing its muscles. And back in those days, airlines, it's interesting because we had to study a couple examples recently. Airlines were actually more interested. They made most of their money by reselling the planes after they had reached the point where they didn't want to use them anymore.
Okay.
The passenger service was really not profitable. And so later on they realized they have to. But at the beginning, they had a lounge on the second floor and they had a piano. And as a kid, the idea of being on a plane and having a drink and listening to live piano was so that was just the bee's knees to me.
The bee's knees.
The bee's knees. Because, I'm too young, rather, to remember the 1930s and 40s when you had these really lavish, 36-hour flights, where you had full service everything.
Okay.
So, and sleeping cabins on some of the earlier planes.
Ah.
Early, in the 40s and 50s and stuff still.
I don't think I've ever been on a double-decker plane.
Yeah, well, they got a triple-decker now from Airbus. I don't know. I'm not as big an Airbus fan. I don't support European planes.
Okay.
I'm Boeing all the way.
Boeing
all the way. Anyway, so they had all these films, and I got to watch I think it's The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin's film, which was excellent. It was awesome. Really, really talented. And I think I'm reaching the point where I need to invest time into watching the Chaplin and Buster Keaton films because they're really worth it. But there was also Akira Kurosawa's Ran, and that's for those who are Kurosawa fans, you already know it's like his last masterpiece, epic masterpiece. Decades, maybe 2 decades after his last really, really acclaimed one.
Okay.
Or so. So, it definitely in his twilight years, he comes out with this last great epic. And I only got to see the first hour before I just fell asleep. I'd already watched, The Wolverine before that and the Great Dictator. So I'm excited. I got to see that film this week. I'm excited.
It does look intriguing. Yeah. I was wikiing it earlier today.
Yeah. Now, what was it you told me about this film that I didn't know about?
What was it? Yes. Apparently, it made the most. Had the largest budget from Japan at the time.
Yeah. Well, no, I said at the time. I added that. You were trying to convince me that when that film was made in like 1981 or 83 or something, that its budget today is still the biggest budget for any Japanese film ever. Because as you put it, what the Japanese are they really making anything anymore?
Godzilla, run away!
Yeah.
Well, they're not big in the film industry.
Are they not?
Internationally?
I don't know.
Not that I've seen.
Well. What's the best international film you've seen recently? I mean, you're a bit of a connoisseur, authority. What nation makes the best films on the international scene?
Okay, I Hollywood or Bollywood?
And I think you proved the depth of your knowledge on the subject to be unfathomable.
Unfathomable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You like Bollywood films?
I love Bollywood films.
What's your favorite Bollywood film?
What was the name? 3 Idiots. That film was so funny. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I've actually never watched a Bollywood film all the way. My fiance is a big fan of them. But I don't think even she actually just watches the music videos. I don't think she actually watches the films properly.
I never really got into Bollywood until I moved to Turkey, actually recent years in Istanbul. Only about 2 years I've been watching Bollywood films. The music is interesting, and the acting and the dance scenes, intriguing.
Intriguing or entertaining? Because intriguing would imply to me that you're compelled to search for more, something about it.
Well, it's intriguing and mildly entertaining.
Mightily entertaining.
Mildly.
Well, wait. I thought you really enjoyed these.
Well, I mean, it's time waster, but yeah, no, it's good.
Polar opposite compliments. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you can't really take anything from a Bollywood film.
What do you mean? Oh no, go ahead. Expound upon this.
Expound?
Uh-huh.
Do you mean expand?
Whichever you choose.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, some films you can take a little bit of something, some films you can't. In Bollywood, I don't really think there is anything you can take. Yeah, you can take the moral ideas, but you can get that from
what do you mean? That bullshit. Moral and ideas in film? Bullshit, obviously.
Speaking of low-end movies, did you know...
are we talking about... Bollywood is a low-end film genre, film industry.
Well, no, I mean, they have that reputation, but a lot of budget goes into those movies.
Do they have that reputation?
Did you know Bolrat, they were arrested... No, police intervened 93 times during the filming of that film.
What film?
Borat. Borat.
Oh, Borat?
Yes, the police intervened 93 times during filming.
What does that have to do with Bollywood?
Nothing, just film of that kind of equivalent genre.
Equivalent genre? What genre do you think Borat falls into?
Mildly entertaining time waster?
Oh, so that... Oh, well, I mean, if that's how you define the genre. Okay. It's a rather subjectively defined genre. And I never would have thought to directly compare all Bollywood films with the singular film that is Borat. And I really thought you were talking about a completely different film because I didn't understand what you said.
No, I mean, it's humorous, but it's the same kind of dry humor. For example, Bollywood films, what are they known for? They're known for their dance scenes, they're known for their bad translations, and they're mildly entertaining. For example, even
Bollywood films are known for... You watching them with subtitles or dubbed?
Both.
At the same time?
No, occasionally, for example, if I can't find one dubbed, I will watch it subtitled. But
oh, well, so Bollywood films are known the world over for their bad English dubbing.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a Bollywood film. Even the snippets that I've seen have never been dubbed. So I didn't have this sense.
Well, no, if you take a Bollywood film and take one of the random dance scenes and you watch it on YouTube when it's still in the Hindi language, it is quite comical. You can make like 10, 20, 30 different stories of what's going on from this one scene. There's nothing definingly clear about what's going on.
You mean if you watch the musical number out of context of the rest of the film?
Or a random film clip out of context with the rest of the film.
Yeah, you don't find that with American films, actually. I mean, if you were to watch a clip of American film without the rest of the film.
You could, to an extent, but I mean, it's not as... It doesn't follow that style. For example, you can still kind of figure what is happening to some extent.
Yeah. You ever give any thought as to why that would be?
Besides the language? No.
Yes, besides
the
language.
It's more clearer. At least as a North American, you can be like, ooh, someone's running through the forest. Oh, there's someone trying to kill her. Okay, but Bollywood, you got like random dancing dwarves and things, and you're like, what's going on here?
Really?
I have no idea about the context.
A lot of dwarves in Bollywood.
Yes.
Dance troops. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much more we can mine from this. I'm actually a bit ashamed of what we've mined so far from it.